Hi there. If you're like me, there's a chance you suffer from neck and back pain when that area from right below the neck to right where your scapula wings out locks up. For me, it can happen after exercise, and sometimes it even happens when I look the wrong direction, so I know how frustrating this problem is. Oftentimes, those of us who get that area that locks up have pretty weak subscapularis. These are the muscles that go underneath your scapula, those winged bones on your back. And they can be hard to access with exercise. So today I'm going to show you a few exercises and stretches that you can do to help strengthen that area once you're out of pain enough to start moving again. If doing these causes you any pain, please go ahead and skip them. But if you're able to do them pain-free, I welcome you to join me. What we're going to need today is either a lightweight kettlebell or dumbbell. Anything from 5 to 15 pounds is probably enough, and a little towel to put your head on. We are going to start with the Kettlebell Arm Bar. This is an exercise that you can do with a lightweight kettlebell or dumbbell if you have it, or even hold something like a water bottle. So you're going to lie on the floor with your kettlebell by your shoulder. You're then going to take it in your hand that it's going to stay in, and take your other hand on top and roll onto your back. Now, using both arms so you don't waste your energy, bring that weight up and get it situated so it's comfortable on your wrist, and make sure your wrist is nice and straight. Now I want you to pull your arm bone into the socket. You saw right there how my arm just jumped down. It was reaching up before, and now it is pulled in, and I want to pull that scapula right down. You really want to lock that arm into place. Now it's not going to go anywhere. If somebody were to walk by and press on my hand, you can see right here, I'm hitting it pretty hard. It's not going anywhere. That's the goal. Now the other arm and leg are going to go alongside your ear and reach away from you. And this leg on the same side as the kettlebell is bent. And from here, you're going to use this leg to roll yourself over and hook that leg that was bent and on the floor on the back of the knee. And now pull your arm bone into the socket. My head is laying on my arm, and I'm pulling my ribs towards my hip bones to keep my core on. And from here, I'm just going to hold. You want to make sure you're not letting your arm fly back. That's going to cause some strain on the front of the shoulder. You're pulling the arm bone into the socket and pulling the shoulder blade down the back, keeping a nice straight wrist and straight elbow. You can take this up a notch by doing a little pageant wave or rotation side to side. And you could hold this for anywhere from 15 to 60 seconds. And then go ahead and roll back, pull it down, and halo the kettlebell around to the other side. Of course, we have to do it to both sides. So start in fetal position, roll onto your back, and press that weight up. Arm and leg opposite the kettlebell, extend away, and lock the arm into the socket before you start moving. And adjust the kettlebell so it's on a fleshy part of your wrist and comfortable. Now you're going to press that right foot into the floor and roll yourself towards the left. And here you can see what it looks like from the front. My head is resting on my arm. I'm trying to bring my hips as close to the floor as possible without letting my lower back go. You want to keep that core engaged. Pull the arm bone into the socket, and again, we're going to hold here for 15 to 45, 60 seconds, whatever's comfortable. And again, you can get that little bit of a wave here. And just for reference, this is an 18-pound or 8-kilogram kettlebell. It's good for me, but you might want to go lighter. You also might want to go heavier. You should really feel that scapula pulling down towards your hips. Arm bone in the socket, straight wrist, straight elbow. And roll back and bring it down. I always welcome you to do that twice on each side, but for now we are going to move on to our exercises. I'd call that more of a weighted stretch. Now, I'd like you to take your towel and roll it up into a little dense pile and put it on the floor. You're going to want to make sure your arms have a little bit of room here. You're going to lie down on the stomach, and we're going to do a series of exercises called I's, Y's, and T's. Now keep in mind, I might end up looking up a little bit so you can hear me better, but you're going to want to have this roll underneath your forehead so that way your nose clears the ground. You could probably also use a pillow. we're going to be lifting our arms out in front of us, making an I shape, then a W shape, and then a T shape. I think I said I's, Y's, and T's, but these are I's, W's, and T's. The goal is to have control. So for our eyes, you're going to lay down with that towel roll underneath your forehead, arms out in front of you. Straighten the arms, thumbs up, and you want to lift the arms, pulling the shoulder blades down and really trying to use those low back, those low muscles right below your scapula to lift your arms up. Bring them up and down 10 times here. Keep going. And it will get challenging. Your hands might not move as far as mine, and that's okay. If your overhead mobility is limited, it will be more challenging, so you can widen your hands a little bit and do more of a Y shape. Either way, try to hold at the top for a second and resist that happening, okay? So those are your eyes. Now bring your hands down by your side, or your hands down by your shoulders and your elbows down by your sides. Now for our W's, you want your hand and elbow to elevate relatively at the same time. Think of them being the sides of an elevator car. They'd want to raise and lower together. So head down again. Raise those elbows and wrists up, squeeze at the top and bring them down. Imagine that there's a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squeeze it. You're sending those shoulder blades towards the back pocket and pausing for a second at the top. So you see here, I'm trying really hard to keep my elbow and hand at the same height. And if oftentimes the elbows lift first, and this is what it ends up looking like a little bit. Or sometimes the hands raise first, but that's harder. So it's probably going to be the elbows that come up first. So try to bring those hands up as well and squeeze at the top. Again, 10 times in total. This is usually the easiest version. Now for the T's, the arms out by the sides, thumbs face up. Arms go straight out from the armpits. They're not down here, they're not up higher, they are really in the middle. Thumbs up, reach for the ceiling with those thumbs, squeezing the shoulder blades together and bring them down. 10 times here. And squeeze at the top. Try to keep those thumbs going up. That's why I like the thumbs up. Otherwise, the thumbs tend to migrate forward. And we want those thumbs up as you do this, 10 times in total. Good. Next up, we have a puppy pose from yoga where you're going to get on all fours and do that pose and also incorporate a reach. So, with your knees apart on all fours, you want to get your head to the floor. Hips sit back, but they're not on the feet, and the arms are on the floor on the forearms. You're then going to reach your arm out, lift your palm up, and raise the arm if you can and hold for a second before bringing it back down. Park the arm back, reach the other one out. Rotate palm up, lift the arm, and come back down. As you can see, this is very challenging. My arm got very little height. Turn the palm up, lift up, bring back down, park the arm. You want to go for 5 on each side. It is so hard. Yours might not look like mine. Yours might not have as much air as mine. That is okay. If you find this truly inaccessible, if you really find that you cannot get a single arm off the ground, you might want to focus on your I's, W's, and T's first, or you can come up to all fours and do this with your head up. By having the head up, you're going to have far more room to lift that arm you see here. That was a lot easier for me. So you can always attempt it with your head up instead. So you'd want to repeat that for 2 to 3 rounds as well. 2 to 3 rounds of the I's, W's, and T's, 2 to 3 rounds of the puppy pose with the reach, and then a couple rounds of the arm bars. To finish it off, we have an exercise that doesn't require anything at all. You're going to lie on your back and we're going to do scap retractions on the floor. So just like with those W's, where you were trying to keep your palm and elbow moving together, that's kind of the same idea here. You're going to lay on the floor with your arms tracking alongside your ears reaching up. Lower back is relaxed, knees are bent, the lower body isn't too important here. What we're now going to do is pull the elbows down by the waist, and try to keep the hand and the elbows on the floor at the same time, ironing your scapula bones into your back. So you see here, I have pretty good mobility, and I am struggling to try to keep the elbow on the left side down. A lot of the time people might start with everything on the floor, and then as we get closer, things elevate, and that's okay. Just keep trying to keep the hand and elbow on the floor. This will improve with time. You can squeeze at the bottom for a second. And again, 10 reps of this. Repeat it for 2 or 3 rounds. You can go through all of the exercises and do one set of each and then repeat all together, or you could just do one exercise at a time. It's totally up to you. Either way, all of these exercises are going to help to really strengthen the muscles behind your scapula here and hopefully lead to less and less neck locking and actually help you feel better. I personally experienced a round of my neck locking up last week. It's still pretty tender and irritated, and I feel better now after this demonstration for you. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check me out on Instagram. I do post different content on YouTube and Instagram, so it's a great way to connect with me and see what else I have to offer. Have a great day, and I hope that your neck continues to feel better.